From center field at Lexington High School in Lexington, Mass, this is Blue Sox baseball here on LSP. Tonight, interleague play as the EI Braves out of the Park League with a record of 11-2, leading the way in the Park League visit the Lexington Blue Sox 5-4, fourth in the Intercity League, coming off back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Good evening, everybody. Sam Field here with you, ready to bring you the play-by-play story. And on color, it's the wife, Katrina Good.
Hi, everyone.
It's the anniversary streams. We're going to distract you with all these stories about, how wonderful married life actually is. Thank you very much. While you try to watch the Blue Sox look for their third consecutive win. They finally broke they finally got off the up and down start to this season, which had been a loss win through the first 8 games. And they did that with a comeback victory, walking off the Brighton Black Sox, by far the best team in the Yawkey League, 5-4 on Saturday during the Jerry DeAngelis Day of Baseball. Right now, Blue Sox getting warmed up here for the top of the first inning as they host the first place Park League EI Braves. We'll give you the lineup for the Braves as we go along, and we'll give you the Blue Sox lineup before they take their first turn at bat. We can tell you, though, that Chris Wan has made the trip up from New Haven to take the mound for this game here on a Monday night. Happy second anniversary to us, dear.
Happy anniversary.
I mean, everybody does want to rule the world. As you might say, especially me, right, dear? So Max Garner is going to lead things off here for the EI Braves. The orange jerseys with the black letters and numbers. The Blue Sox in the traditional navy blue and red shoulders. First pitch coming at you, 8:01. Ground to the left side and over Eric Ramirez's head, and then takes another bounce over the shortstop V. Desai's head into left for a first pitch swinging base hit to begin the ball game for the Braves.
That's the kind of play you don't see very often.
The shortstop, number 20, Jimmy Mitchell.
Oh, we got Jesse. Okay. Oh, you know what? I see what I did wrong. I had. No. I wrote down the wrong position. Wait, hang on a second. V's the EH. Okay, that's what I wrote down wrong. I apologize. The tough infield and some wicked hops were actually key to the Blue Sox comeback on Saturday night. Will karma balance out here against the Blue Sox is the question. 0-2 is the count with a runner at first to begin the ball game here. Chris Wan again making the start for the Blue Sox. His third appearance of the season, 1-0 with a 0.91 ERA. In 7 2/3 innings, allowed now 10 hits. 2 runs, one of which is earned, walked 3, and struck out 6. But some uncharacteristic control problems. He's hit one batter and thrown 4 wild pitches. Blue Sox have have thrown 15 wild pitches this year. Smack to the left side, and that is a fair ball down the line into the left field corner. It'll be second and third, nobody out.
The second baseman, number 44, Nick Pappas.
Nick Pappas, 2 runners in scoring position to begin the ball game, and an excellent chance here for the Braves to take an early lead, and it looks like a diving catch in right field, and it's actually made and sent back into the infield quick enough to freeze the runner at third. Otherwise, Garner was just going to be able to jog home. What a catch in right by Jake McElroy. And as good as McElroy is with the bat, he has been even better defensively in the outfield this season.
That was a great play. Now, my love, we didn't really talk about it the other day. How does this extreme heat affect these baseball players?
Isn't that my job to ask the color commentator? It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Absolutely. Like, obviously, it's cooled down a bit after sundown, but boy, tomorrow I do not envy the players who have to, get a game in. Again, still, even though it's after sundown, It's going to be 100 degrees in most of Massachusetts tomorrow for a high. Here's a ground to the left side. Ramirez thought about home, takes the sure out at first. A run scores. It is 1-0 Braves.
Definitely not a professional color commentator, everyone. Sorry about that.
Now batting for the Braves, the catcher, number 39, Pat Purcell. You got the jersey tag on still.
Oh, wow. It's the threads are that fresh. Pat Purcell has the jersey as the tag still on his jersey. Yeah, that's what we get, right? It'll be a grounder to second, fielded by Jimenez. And, well, damage control sometimes is the name of the game here in baseball. And despite second and third, nobody out to begin the ball game, thanks in large part to a fantastic defensive play by Jake McElroy in right. It is 1-0 Braves after half an inning. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly, made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the checkout codes and the link on the screen and in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. And as we go to the bottom of the first, here's the starting lineup for the Blue Sox. It'll be Jesse McCullough at short, Jake McElroy in right, Eric Ramirez at third, Julian Alvarez is the DH. Anderson Jimenez is at second. Nick Anderson is in center. V decides the extra hitter. AJ Lisco is at first. Will Norris is in left. And Max Dushney rounds out the 10-man lineup behind the plate. 2 years ago today is the day Katrina and I told the government we love each other very much. The following day, June 24th, is when our family saw it in person. But then again, they knew that already, didn't they, dear? So, you want to tell the folks at home about it?
Well, I would, but my mother just informed me that she can't hear me on this microphone.
That's awkward. But she can. Let me guess. She can hear me fine.
Yes.
That's awkward. Let me see this thing. Like, it's coming in fine into the mixer. I'm not sure why that would be.
Can anyone in the comments tell us if they can hear me?
Yeah. 1 second. Sorry. It's a little tough when you gotta, do this stuff to, and like also thread the needle with copyrighted music playing in the background. Don't want to get, clipped there. But 1 second. I also dropped my mouse. All right, yeah, that's fine. Appreciate it. Oh, boy. It's just fun times here. All right.
Leading off the bottom of the first for the Blue
Appreciate
Sox,
the heads up, Kelly. But, yeah, folks in the chat,
12,
then again, it's also, I don't know, maybe you're holding the microphone too far away from your mouth. I don't know.
If I hold it any closer, I'll be eating it.
Yeah, don't do that, please. And I can turn you up, though, just if you want to hold it where you would naturally would. All right, there we go. Hopefully that helps. I love metaphors. 1-1 is count. Father and son umpiring team today with Sam Finn on the bases, Mike Finn behind the plate. Curveball drifts down away. 2-1 to Jesse McCullough, getting the start at short tonight for the Lexington Blue Sox. McCullough playing in his 8th game this season. Fly ball to right center and over a few steps the right fielder to make the catch for out number 1. McCullough, 11 for 23 through his first 7 games, has on a 6-game hitting streak, was 0 for 3 in his first game against the Bulldogs on opening night, and has had at least 1 base hit in every game he's played since. But 0 for 1 now. Here's Jake McElroy off that fine defensive play in right field to help limit the damage. Count will be 1-1. McElroy standing in from the right side, and the pitch hits the outside corner. 1-2.
Can anyone hear me now?
Well, a swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes McElroy for out number 2 quickly here in the bottom of the first. And now here's Eric Ramirez. McElroy 5 for 18 in the early going. 4 RBIs, coming off a 1 for 3 with a run scored and a walk against the Black Sox on Saturday. Now here's Eric Ramirez back in the lineup. Takes inside for a ball and low. 1-0. Eric playing in his 8th game. He is 10 for 21. Swings at that
there
one.
we go.
Maybe not quite. It'll be caught in center for
so close.
out number 3. A 1-2-3 bottom of the first for the Blue Sox offensively. We are through 1-0 Braves.
Thank you to my mother who says that's better.
I also get sometimes thrown off a bit because I turn up the headphones so much, and that's also what I do with my music, when I'm just listening to it myself. And what do you always say when I do that, dear? When I'm just listening to my music, too intently?
That someone can come rob us and you would not even know, ever?
I don't think Tina would be much of a help either, considering how, she just snoozes all day and just loves every human she comes across. At any rate, advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot. Whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, coach, or couple celebrating their 2nd anniversary. Email yours truly for all the deets. We go to the top of the second. Chris Wannett hoping for a smooth second inning after a auspicious start to the ball game. But again, thanks to Jake McElroy, able to limit the damage to just the 1 run in the top of the first. And now go to the top of the second.
Number 16, Thomas Joyce.
Thomas Joyce will settle in, the designated hitter for the Braves here in the top of the second to lead things off. And that is a ball, 1-0. Last year for the Braves, Joyce was 11 for 29 in 10 games with an OPS of 1041. 1-1 is the count to the Braves DH. One and two. Down away, 2-2. Want it. Settle back in here. Mentioned this is his 3rd appearance of the season. 1-0 in his first 2, 7 2/3 innings. And he'll be flying into foul territory on the right side and get out of play. Remains 2-2. Got the win in 4 innings over the Mad Dogs last time out on June the 11th. Allowed 6 hits and 2 runs. Only one of which was earned with 2 strikeouts and no walks. But 3 wild pitches. Against the Chiefs on May 28th, went 3 2/3 innings with 3 hits allowed, no runs, 3 walks, and 4 Ks. Joyce gets rung up.
Now batting for the Braves.
Leadoff man retired for the Braves.
Number 8, Logan Umba.
Here's Logan Umba.
That's a fun name to say.
Fouls that one off to the screen. It'll be 0-1. And unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of current stats to feed you fine folks for the Braves. Don't have Umbach, yeah, UMBACH for those playing the home game. Appreciate it. Your mom goes to college. You walked into that, Chris. Fly ball into right center, and Nick Anderson. Why is it that you persist? 2 down.
Now batting for the Braves, the first baseman, number 24, Ryan O'Byrne.
Ryan O'Byrne will see if he can avoid a 1-2-3 inning. Braves first baseman, his first year with the club.
I like his batting helmet. It has a nice design on it.
Yeah, this level, you don't see a whole lot of, like, uniform standardized batting helmets, especially with the college players. They usually break out, whatever, helmet they're wearing at their current school. 1-1. Oh, yeah. I mean, then again, the Blue Sox used to have as many or more uniforms than the rest of the ICL combined, and less. The Oregon of the ICL, as I had always said, but pared it down a bit in recent years. Don't even have the classic pinstripe sleeveless jerseys. Matt Carrison morning.
I miss the powder blues. I feel like right around our wedding is when they stopped wearing them.
That was, one of the main inspirations for the color scheme at our wedding, but comebacker
My husband likes to think it was.
No runs on no hits. No Blue Sox
Excuse.
no runners left
What,
in
it
the
wasn't?
We head to the bottom of the second inning. The extra
I wanted blue the whole time.
one.
Okay, and I kind of did too, and we just happened to come across, Navy and Carolina blue, which, happened to be Blue Sox colors as well. Funny that, right? Love you, dear. She said without turning the mic on. When I say LSP has something for everyone since 2011, I, by God, mean it. Sports, live events, pet sitting and walking, tech, help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page or Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need. It's Jules.
Leading off the bottom of the second for the Blue Sox, it's Jules, the designated hitter, number 25, Julian Alvarez.
That was really cool.
Alvarez, Jimenez, and Anderson to lead things off here in the bottom of the second for the Blue Sox, down 1-0 to the EI Braves, and that misses up and in for ball one. Mark Cedrone getting the start on the bump for the EI Braves. Alvarez, fly ball into shallow left. Breeze swirling a bit, and coming in hot in behind is the left fielder Sebastian Pike, and makes the catch. 4 out number 1. Close call there, but not close enough.
The second baseman, number 2, Anderson Jimenez.
Here's AJ. Anderson Jimenez, that is, as opposed to A.J. Lisco. And a quick grounder to short on a hop. Firing on to first, and the throw goes out of play.
Missed it.
He did. Great leaping effort at first by Ryan O'Byrne, who is a tall boy over there at first base. Unfortunately, the ball goes out of play, and that puts a runner in scoring position for the Blue Sox.
Number 33, Nick Anderson.
I'm proud of myself. I knew it was him before he said that because of his helmet.
Here's Anderson. Trying to cash in with the tying run scoring position, and good job by O'Byrne to follow that tough hop. Again, it was a lot of tough hops, especially on the right side of the infield that helped fuel the Blue Sox comeback on Saturday, eventually coming away with a 5-4 victory over the Brighton Black Sox over the Hockey League. Here's V. Desai.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the shortstop, number 8, V. Desai.
Desai getting the start in the extra hitter slot tonight with McCullough at short defensively. And he looks at strike one. Jimenez now at third after the ground out with 2 away. And Desai hoping to cash in. Outside for a ball is 1-1. Desai playing his 4th game of the year, 1 for 8. 3 ribbies, though. Little blooper off the handle of the bat, and that is going to get down and drive home the tying run.
Chris called it.
I just had to give it some willpower.
Speaking it into existence, right? If only. We're back to where he started, 1-1.
The first baseman, number 34, A.J. Lisco.
Well, that'll be an unearned run that ties this game, and now here is A.J. Lisco. Watching that one go all the way down the chute for ball 1.
Jimenez slipped out of the box, and look at like the crater that's in the right-handed batter's box.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And if he slipped out of the batter's box on that ground ball, right? Yeah, Chris? Oh! Fingers still all together there, man? 1-1. He slipped. He slipped out in the batter's box trying to run out the ground ball, too, right? But he was going to be on second. I mean, yeah, it'd be great recovery in that spot,
I
too.
think the Braves catcher just noticed the hole. He was looking at it.
I mean, seriously, and it's not like, Jimenez is, a thick boy. How do I put that politely at all? I can't. We have an official broadcast that rolls onto Worthen Road. Yeah? I mean, he's a leader, so, he has a commanding presence regardless. I'm really going to hear it from him after this one, aren't I? Into right field, a couple steps back and to the right. And that is caught by the right fielder for the Braves, Garner. And we are back to where we started, 1-1 after 2. Fast-moving ball game. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Email yours truly for game videos or go to lsp37.creative-spring.com for merch.
The center fielder, number 10, Alex Haslam.
Alex Haslam to lead things off here for the Braves in the top of the third. 9-1-2 due up for EI. Swanek gets back to work. 1-0 is the count.
I'm going to ask another question that I should not ask. What does EI stand for?
Extra innings. It's a baseball practice facility, I believe, in Boston. I think it's actually in Is it actually in Waltham? I forget, but it's in Watertown. That's where it is. Right. Thank you. That got down, but a good job by Anderson to backhand that one and prevent it from going much further. But a leadoff base hit by the 9-hitter, not what you want to see as the lineup turns over for Max Garner, who got the party started with a first pitch single and then came around to score what is so far the Braves' only run. That'll just miss for a ball. Garner, then Jimmy Mitchell, then Nick Pappas due up here in the top of the third for the EI Braves. Little blooper, one hopper. Oh, it gets kicked around near second base, and oh boy. Well, traffic on the bases once again. First and second to begin the inning. Fielder's choice E6, no outs recorded on the play. And here is Jimmy Mitchell, hoping to get a hold of one like he did in his first AB for a double. Comes up empty, though. It is 0-1. So you have Garner at first and Haslam at second, the first two batters of this top of the third, as the Braves looking to reclaim the lead. Garner scoring the Braves' run in the first, and Jimenez scoring the Blue Sox run in the second. That is on the outer edge for a strike, and it is 1-2. Fly ball into deep left center field. Anderson going back all the way, and it gets away from the left fielder. It's down for extra bases. One run scores. A runner at first. Garner is held at third, but another double for Mitchell. This one does play to run, and the Braves are back in front. It is 2-1, and still nobody out in the inning.
And we got a conference.
So, Mound Conference here with Ramirez and Dushney and Wannett trying to figure out how they get out of this bucket of syrup. I mean, certainly in Maplewood. It's actually during the day of baseball, in the last game of the day, the Chiefs and Americans game. One player, admired a long fly ball that absolutely would be a home run in Maplewood, but ended up a couple feet short of the left center field wall, and the conference does nothing for the Blue Sox as one run will score. Here comes another. It's not in time. Throw to second is also not in time. The EI Braves pouring it on here. It is 4-1. Still nobody out here in the top of the third.
Now batting for the Braves, the left fielder, number 13, Sebastian Pike.
Sebastian Pike to bat for the second time. Two-run single by Nick Pappas. One thing that has been a challenge for the Blue Sox at times during the season is putting batters away after getting them to two strikes. Here's another one right here, but well, the quick inning in the second, but back to hard labor here in the third
For anyone keeping track of how much we're boiling around these parts, we just got a nice breeze, and it was very nice.
Yeah. Saw one fly ball get, picked up in the wind, you would think. Oh, one hop, and that gets away, and that's going to go out of play as that'll freeze the runners. Well, actually, and no, that will not freeze the runner at third. That will allow Pappas to score, and it is 5-1.
He just trotted in there.
Yep, the extra base on the throw going out of play allows him to trade places with Pike. And the route is on, folks. Purcell hoping to keep adding on with action in the Blue Sox bullpen. The other way and into right field for a base hit. And it's bobbled in right field, and that will allow Pike to score. (6-1). And still nobody out in the inning.
Now batting for the Braves, the designated hitter, number 16, Thomas Joyce.
After we switch pitchers.
Yep, Rick DeAngelo's coming out to the mound, and we got a wrong name.
He got 1 for 1 today.
Anyways, so that's going to do it for Chris Wanted. He does not get an out in the third inning and still responsible for the runner at second. It is 6-1. Braves on top of the Blue Sox. Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube, PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP 37. All the cool kids are doing it. Cole Donato takes over on the mound for the Blue Sox with still nobody out here in the top of the third. This is Donato's third appearance of the year and first in 2 weeks. Pitched 2 innings against the Melrose Americans on June 9th.
Now pitching the right-hander.
Allowed 1 hit, 1 run, walked 2, and struck out 3.
The designated hitter, number 16, Alex Joyce.
Alex Joyce, not Thomas Joyce. How did we get that? Ah, fair enough. Oh, boy. First pitch swinging the other way to right. That is off the base.
Oh, no, he
wall.
tripped. He tripped.
Joyce tripped going around first base. Now he's got to get back where there's nobody covering the bag, so he'll be able to do so easily. And what could have been a double nearly turned into disaster for the Braves, but Joyce able to get back. Runners at the corners, and again, nobody out.
I believe he said Thomas Joyce was his brother.
Fair enough. Here's Logan Urbot to see if he can tack on the extra point or maybe more. And is outside for ball 1. outside for a ball, and it is 2-0. Donato played in only one interleague game last year, and that was that drubbing of the base at Westy on July 25th of last year. Fly ball down the right field line, slicing foul for a strike. And must have got in on him good because he's shaking his hand out after swinging at that one.
I thought of a fun wedding fact to tell the people.
I want to hear it.
I think we all want to hear it.
We all know my husband's love of the song Narco, to the point where we walked out to Narco at our wedding reception.
But no one in the family is a New York Mets fan, interestingly enough.
No, you just really like the song.
I mean, yeah, it's so weird. It's the juxtaposition of the two of us coming out to Narco for the first dance, then the first dance is to The Messenger by Linkin Park, which is like the anti-Narco musically. Oh, nearly a huge double play there. Would have taken a lot of pressure off the Blue Sox shoulders there, but they'll have to settle for just the one out, so it's still runners at the corners. That play actually throws Purcell at third. So Urbach reaches on the fielder's choice. Joyce is retired. Purcell still at third. Here's O'Byrne.
I think it's really indicative of your music taste, though.
I mean, that's absolutely true. Like, you know.
My husband chose both of those songs.
Yeah.
When your husband is as picky as he is, I chose some songs, and I chose a lot of the other wedding details, but he was very picky about the music.
Swing and a miss. Runner goes down to second, and the throw gets away from the shortstop, and able to sneak in the back door is Purcell, and it is 7-1. The Blue Sox do not usually get routed this badly. And it's frustrating, obviously. Sometimes you just don't have it, but you got to keep fighting. And it's tough to see this, too, after, you have that exciting win against Brighton on Saturday. The best team in the Yankee
He got
League.
plunked.
And, yeah, he got plunked again with 2 strikes. The Blue Sox still unable to put away hitters and end innings faster. It is first and second, still with 1 out for the number 9 hitter, Haslam.
The center fielder, number 10, Alex Haslam.
Haslam got this party started, and Haslam, allow the 9 hitter to get on to lead off the inning. That can never end well, hardly ever. Yep.
It's because you didn't turn the heat off like you were supposed to.
Who, me?
Yes.
Turn the heat. I turned the what?
Before the game, I said you should turn down the heat because it's too hot, and you said you don't control the weather.
Oh, we're talking about that. I thought you were talking about literally back at our apartment. I was trying to, wait, did I forget something there? Hey. That kind of day, huh? Getting disoriented from the heat. That I can't even pick up on jokes. Grounder to short. It's beaten out. It is 8-1 as Urbach comes home. A 7 spot here on the top of the third.
The shortstop, number 20, Jimmy Mitchell.
Jimmy Mitchell to the bat for the 3rd time of the game and 2nd time in the inning takes a strike. 2 down with runners at the corners. 7 runs home here in the top of the 3rd for the EI Braves. Two and one is the count. Braves already with a win against the Intercity League. And that was 5 nights ago against the Stoneham Sabres. 3 and 1. They take on the Malden Mad Dogs on Thursday and the Melrose Americans on Monday. Their first 4 interleague games, the Braves, are all on the road. And then on July 2nd, 8th, and 10th, they'll host the Expos, Chiefs, and Bulldogs. Payoff pitch forthcoming. Runner on first will be going. There he goes in his ball 4, and the inning continues. With the bases now loaded for Nick Pappas.
The second baseman, number 44, Nick Pappas.
Pappas with a base hit his last time. Fly out to right. Oh. Dush able to track that one down as 1-0. The ICL dominated interleague play last year, but a little more evenly matched, I would say, in most regards here in 2025. In the Yawkey League, struggling as the Brighton Black Sox are the only Yawkey League team to record a win against an ICL team. It's foul tip into Dush's mid, and losing his elbow guard there in the process was Pappas. But meanwhile, the Park League doing well. They have 5 wins so far against the ICL. TJO is 2-1 against the ICL. The A's already with a win over the Blue Sox. Ed Neal's Boston Padres were 5-1 winners over the Lexington Bulldogs last Wednesday. Pop-up foul out of play. And the Braves, as mentioned, coming off the 2-0 win over the Stoneham Sabres. The Braves, within the Boston Park League, a very good team, and exerting their will here against the Lexington Blue Sox. Grounder to the left side. Ramirez will go to, oh my goodness. Tried to go to second for the force to end the inning. Instead, the ball went into right field.
This is not fun. I said what I said.
Another error for the Blue Sox, and it is 10-1.
The left fielder, number 13, Sebastian Pike.
Sebastian Pike to the plate for the 3rd time tonight. High for a ball. 1-0.
What are the mercy rules for interleague games again?
10 after 5. I am struggling to think what the greatest comeback the Blue Sox have had was in my years covering the team. Swing and a miss. It is 1-2. Pike is the 14th man to bat here in the inning. And excuse me swing keeps him alive. Appreciate those of you in the chat who have voted many more happily wedded years over either team in this Who You Got poll.
Thank you, everyone.
Pop up to the right side, and that'll be a catch with A.J. Lisco following that one into foul territory, and then the catch and carry rule applies. And the EI Braves shoving it 10-1 after 2.5.
Due up for the Blue Sox in the bottom of the third, Norris, Dushney, and McCullough.
LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly, made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the promo codes and the link on the screen and in the description. For a discount on your order, we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is, as we may receive a commission from those orders. Last year when these two teams faced off at Cleveland Circle on July 11th, it was a 3-1 Blue Sox win, in which Yammer Pineda threw 4 innings, out 3 hits, 1 earned run, walked 3 and struck out 2. And Jake McElroy had a triple, and Mitch McCabe and Dylan Walsh each had a run scored. But going to take a lot more than that to come away with a win here tonight for the Blue Sox. Rick DeAngelis calling a team meeting as the team came back in the dugout, as he often does after a rough inning, but haven't been many innings that I've seen in my years covering the team as rough as that one. Will Norris to lead things off, swings at the first pitch and fouls it off behind us for strike 1. So yeah, you got popped in the mouth, and all you can do is just dust yourself off, get back up, and try to claw back into it. And even if you lose this game, you got to try and find wins where you can. Try to build to the future. And if it's any consolation at all, the Blue Sox don't have to, play in the industrial oven that tomorrow will be with the weather. They're off until Thursday. And then they're back here Friday night.
Speaking of a hot oven, we should talk about what we ate at our wedding reception, because it was pretty cool and different.
Yeah, we actually brought in a mobile pizza oven, a pizza truck essentially, to serve dinner at our reception, as Norris gets a base hit up the middle. And first time tonight, the Blue Sox have had the leadoff man aboard.
The catcher, number 7, Max Dushney.
Now, always a guy you like to see come up after you get the leadoff man aboard, Dush, with the things he can do behind the plate and at the bottom of the order to just make the opposing team's life a living hell.
We also had a small chocolate cake for us, but we fed most of our guests pie.
Yeah, there's a oh, we had some pie too. It was all from Moody's Diner, which is a famous traditional American diner on Route 1 in Waldoboro, Maine.
which I still haven't been to. You should take me there.
And yet we have the magnet that they sell there that's always famous.
That's because you got it on a time when you went there without me.
Just keeping track of how many times you've needled me on this broadcast.
Well, you should say goodnight to my parents because they're going to bed.
All right, good night, Kelly. Good night, Kevin. And good night to Max Dushing as he flies out for out number 1.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the shortstop, number 12, Jesse McCullough.
Lineup turns over for Jesse McCullough. Flew out to right his first time up. Norris with the leadoff single, but and it's blowing out too, this breeze. You'd like to get a hold of one here if you could, but gonna lay off that one is Jesse, and it is ball 1. Norris with the base hit, playing his 3rd game of the year. That's actually his 5th hit and 7 at-bats. He's played in each of the last 2 games for the Blue Sox against Al Thomas and Brighton, and he combined 4 for 6 with 3 runs scored in those games, plus a solo home run. That wacky game against Al Thomas with no fence in right field. Shades of the Victory Field days. Another check on the runner at first. Norris is back diving. Braves looking to make it 2-0 against the ICL this year. And that is upstairs for a ball. 2-1. Strikingly different outcomes so far in this game compared to the meeting singular between these two teams last year. Into left field.
Yeah, we like that.
Into left field for another base hit. Makes it 1st and 2nd for Jake McElroy.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the right fielder, number 9, Jake McElroy.
Now, McElroy's already at his once per game phenomenal defensive play. Now let's see if he can come through with a big hit. Thing you got to remember, if you're a team in this situation that the Blue Sox are in, you are never going to tie the game with one swing of the bat.
Oh no!
You got to take advantage of the bounces when they happen. Unfortunately, despite the slip by the shortstop Jimmy Mitchell, they do get the man in the middle for the 4th. So it is 2 down with runners at the corners for Eric Ramirez.
The 3rd baseman, number 17, Eric Ramirez.
Now Ramirez can ranch them with the best of them, but again, you're not going to win or even tie the game with one swing of the bat. You got to take it one step at a time. Let's see if at least Eric can find a gap and bring home at least one. Okay, so okay, and then 10 minus 4 is 6, which is still a pretty considerable gap. But
Now we are offering math lessons, apparently.
hey, Mr. Mosca, how you doing? Rotate the mound, as they say. That is high for a ball, and it is 1-0. Norris at 3rd, McElroy at 1st. Two and 0 is the count. (10-1) is our score, and Eric Ramirez taking a step out of the box where he settles back in a hitter's count, hoping to help start a rally for the Blue Sox to get back into this one. 3-0, and who's on deck? It's Jules.
That should become a thing now.
I think it absolutely has been already. Don't need to tell us twice. Ramirez taken all the way. Now we'll go to work. 3-1 with the veteran power hitter, Julian Alvarez, due up next. Eric Ramirez get on base and pass the baton, or the torpedo, as it were, to him. Fouled into the screen. Read the top line. And it'll be Jake McElroy about to start his engines from first base on this payoff pitch. Catcher Purcell directing traffic, looking over to his right. Payoff into left field and down for a base hit again. Not going to win this game with one swing of the bat. Here's a throw to third. Now Ramirez is going to second, and he's safe. I mean, you have to take a step at a time, but sometimes you got to be aggressive too. And single advancing in the on the throw into second is Ramirez. It is 10-2.
Number 25, Julian Alvarez.
Let's see a home run.
Home run would only cut the deficit to 5, but the morale value and the momentum value would be immeasurable, especially from a gentleman like Holes, who has etched his name into the Blue Sox record books and lore with his performances over the years. He takes a strike there, and it is 0-1 with 2 runners in scoring position. McElroy at third and Ramirez at second. Grounds this one foul, and now he's behind 2 strikes. Jules flew out to left his first time up. He passed torpedo to Anderson Jimenez, due up next. Way outside for a ball. 1-2. First 2 innings breezed by. A 9 spot in the top half of this inning by the Braves has them up by 8. And a swing and a miss by Jules to retire the side. The Blue Sox only get 1 run out of that. 3 hits, and they leave 2.
I tried.
We all tried. Ms. Wojcik, were you ironing? Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, coach, or married couple celebrating their 2nd anniversary. Email yours truly for all the deets.
To announce for the Blue Sox. Now pitching for Lexington, the right-hander, number 42, Luke Marshall.
Luke Marshall takes over on the mound for the Blue Sox to begin the top of the 4th. This is his third appearance of the year, first since June 2nd, 3 weeks since he pitched 1 inning against the Middlesex Expos and walked 1 and struck out 2, but allowed no runs. Pat Purcell leading things off here in the top of the 4th for the EI Braves, to be followed by Alex Joyce and Logan Urba. 10-2 is our score. The EI Braves with a 9 spot in the top of the 3rd to break a 1-1 tie, and the Blue Sox only able to muster 1 run in their attempt of a comeback in the bottom half of that 3rd inning, and Marshall 3 wide ones so far. And the zone to begin this top of the 4th and his night. Four-pitch walk begins the top of the 4th, and Purcell is aboard.
The designated hitter, number 16, Alex Joyce.
Joyce with a base hit his last time up as part of that top of the 3rd inning in which the Braves sent 14 men to the plate, and 9 of them scored. Takes a strike, and it is 0-1. A spot like that, if you're Joyce and your team's up 8, yeah, for 4-pitch walk, just wait, make him prove he can throw a strike, and now he can go to work. Be a grounder to short, underhand to second for 1, on to first. A double play. Blue Sox, I'm sure, could have used that a handful of times just last inning. But a 6-4-3 makes it bases empty, 2 down. And here's Urbach, who reached on fielder's choice and stole a base last inning. He takes on the inside corner, strike 1. Well, sometimes you just need a few more pitches after you've done your warm-up to get back into the game, and looks like that's what happened with Marshall here. That misses up and in for ball 1. Obviously concerning. You don't want to dig yourself an even deeper hole after a 4-pitch walk for your first batter. But especially when you're in a game where you know the mercy rule could be a factor. That double play helps considerably, helps keep your team in the game, but a 2-out base hit by Urbach keeps the line moving for O'Byrne.
Now batting for the Braves, the first baseman, number 24, Ryan O'Byrne.
O'Byrne was plunked his last time up. Skies this one into right. And McElroy hauls that one in for the out that retires the side. So much needed easy inning there for the Blue Sox on defense. Now can the offense kick it into high gear as we are halfway home, 10-2. Bravos.
Blue Sox 2. Due up for Lexington in the bottom of the 4th, Jimenez, Anderson, and Desai.
When I say LSP has something for everyone since 2011, I, by God, mean it. Sports, live events, petsing and walking, tech help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page or Linktree LSP37, or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need.
Leading off the bottom of the 4th for the Blue Sox, the second baseman, number 2, Anderson, Jimenez.
Jimenez, Anderson, and Desai due up here in the bottom of the fourth for the Lexington Blue Sox, and that misses for ball one to the Blue Sox second baseman, who scored the first run of the ball game for the Blue Sox. His first time on offense in the second. Is it an orange one? Good. I mean, I've parked in that base that same spot for as long as I've been able to drive for these games, because it's one of them. Because what? Here in that spot, 0 times. 2-2. I got hit at Victory Field in Watertown off a foul ball that went behind us. Full count to Jimenez. Popped up, left side, shortstop. Has it for out number 1, Mitchell.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the center fielder, number 33, Nick Anderson.
Anderson to bat. Member of the Patriot League winning Holy Cross Crusaders baseball team this season. Actually got to do PA for a doubleheader that the Crusaders played in towards the end of the regular season. They won the Patriot League and then went to NCAA regionals. And that was not the first time, as that foul ball lands behind the third baseman, Urbach, who was almost to the out of play line right against the bleachers there. Yeah. 0-2. And Anderson was not the first active Blue Sox to reach the NCAA baseball tournament while at Holy Cross. Thomas Russo and Alex Wojcik did so a few years ago as well. They weren't the only ones either. I mean, the Blue Sox weren't a thing when he did that. But going to the NCAA tournament while rostered, off the end of the bat into center field, and that'll be tracked down.
The extra hitter, number 8, V. Desai.
V. Desai will try to keep the line moving here, and relatively easy inning for the Blue Sox on defense, but you don't want to just hand that right back to the Braves on offense. You want to keep chipping away. Are they going to be able to do that? Desai takes a strike, 0-1. Let's be clear, though. I am only talking within the context of the Holy Cross Crusaders. Any other active Blue Sox who may have, reached the D1 or D2 or D3 tournament while rostered? I haven't looked all of that up yet. It's not like there hasn't been the talent to come through to do it, though.
I'm surprised you haven't looked that up, honestly.
In fairness,
Right at Chris's face.
Eventually, when you do enough, when you do enough games from this position, you don't flinch at anything that comes your way in this direction, no matter the ballpark, as long as there's, of course, offense. I don't know. I could probably look it up too. Just have to cross-reference a lot of stuff on baseball reference in the ICL website and the NCAA and various. That it's a worthwhile endeavor, but I don't think I could do it all in like a single project in a single sitting. I'd have to do it piecemeal. 3-2. A little blooper to the right side. A little plie by the second baseman. Desai took a turn there, going towards first base. Possibly he thought that was going to get in the outfield, like make the turn, get ready to look at going to second if that was an option. It was not. And sometimes you also got to do that to get out of the way of the fielder too. But in the end, it is a quiet bottom of the fourth for the Blue Sox. We go to the fifth, 10-2. Bravos. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with our dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words we've probably said, or I've certainly said, on this here YouTube channel over the years.
I helped design the mug, so you should buy it.
Yeah, exactly. LSP37.creative-spring.com for merch. Email yours truly for game videos. So as we go to the top of the fifth, Katrina was vibing to Chris's playlist here, and Chris asked, was this a karaoke duet over here? And maybe not me and Katrina, but absolutely my sister and brother-in-law.
Number 10, Alex Haslam.
Alex Haslam has been a thorn in the Blue Sox side from the number 9 spot in the Braves lineup. Will lead things off here in the top of the fifth, and he was the one who got the party started in the third, too, with his leadoff base hit. Oh, my goodness. not just Haslam. But anyways, my sister and brother-in-law, one of their first, I forget if it was the first date or one of their first dates, within the first couple of dates, Kayla Mode went out and they did karaoke, and they did Love Shack by the B-52s. Absolutely. But to this day, I don't think either of them actually know all the lyrics to the song. But that's kind of the point of karaoke, right?
Doesn't matter. Still very believable.
Exactly.
Belongs in a rom-com.
Exactly. Fly ball the other way going to foul territory, and it'll land over towards Harold Crumfield. We'll do it again at 2-2.
They did a rendition of it at our wedding, and it was great.
But the setup was even better for how it went into that. So, like, it's not like this, like, them doing that was necessarily a surprise to, you know, anyone except possibly your side of the family, Katrina. But, so, Caden Mode had a dance to At Last by Etta James, I believe.
It just happened to be playing, and they decided to start dancing.
Yeah, and it was a very sweet moment. Saeed, who, you know, often does camera on the Mass Bay games, got it all, and unfortunately for them, I saw this, swing and a miss, strike 3 out, number 1, and I queued up Love Shack for the very next song after that ended, and the Pavlovian response of those two lovebirds. Speaking of which, this summer is going to be next month, a couple more weeks, Kate and Amode's 15th anniversary.
Our role models in many different senses of the word.
And the coolest person you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Way cooler than me, and I do not debate this.
I said this the first time that I met her a long time ago.
Yep. That was that April, right? Shortly before you moved in to the place in Cortland, and they, came to deliver some stuff. As here's a fly ball into right field,
And to
Scott,
visit us because your sister loves you.
of course. Got to see Belle, their dog, for the first time in a while. A while is a bit of a relative term because I did see Belle the previous Thanksgiving, was able to get to Mass at that time, during the height of COVID lockdowns.
If we're going to talk about this time in our lives, we might as well talk about how we met.
Yep. For those of you who find online dating impossible, I can't sympathize because as difficult as it absolutely was for me, that is how we met on OkCupid a couple days after Christmas 2020. And till death do us part, indeed, because if our relationship didn't work out, knowing what I know about the state of online dating these days, God.
Clearly their algorithm worked because they said we were 99% compatible.
Except for the part where you hate key lime pie, so it's absolutely 100% wrong.
Well, my husband has always said that the 1% was me hating key lime pie.
Yeah, so never trust an algorithm, folks. They call it AI slop for a reason.
I don't prefer citrus unless it's lemon and lime mixed together in Sprite.
Or Gatorade, right? Ball 4, the inning continues.
Somehow with Sprite, it's just different.
Now batting the second baseman, number 44, Nick Pappas.
Ask a Ninja has started posting again on YouTube after almost a decade and a half. And they came up with a new metaphor that I think should be used more often to describe one's personality or temperatures, and that is colder than a McDonald's Sprite over ice. And that sounds real good right about
That's
now.
the best kind of Sprite. But anyways, so we did long distance from December until May, and then I moved in.
And even long distance is somewhat of a relative term because that is an easy drive from Cortland to that part of Pennsylvania compared to other drives I've had to make in my life.
Says the man who didn't do it every weekend for that many months.
And your point would be what?
It was bad enough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my idea of like a bad drive is a little skewed considering my line of work and what I've had to do and where I've had to go for it. You're fortunate enough to have a line of work where you don't have to do all that extensive traveling. You're just basically commuting around various towns in the area. Another 2-out walk, first and second all of a sudden. Sammy Steed going out to have a word. And the entire Blue Sox infield, in fact. Funny that you cue that one up during this little conversation. Sammy Steed, obviously no stranger to the boys in blue tonight. Had one-time teammate of Sam Finn's on the Blue Sox, and then teammates in the stable of umpires in the ICL and other leagues for many years before returning to the Blue Sox this year as a pitching coach. Sammy, I guess, kind of had the opposite story of how he came to become a coach with the Blue Sox, from where Sam Finn went from player to umpire. Towering pop-up by Pike on the left side, and Ramirez has it for out number 3. And the Braves strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 10-2, EI.
Two runners left on base. Headed to the bottom of the 5th inning, the extra innings Braves 10. The Lexington Blue Sox 2. Due up for the Blue Sox. In the bottom of the 5th, Lisco, Norris, and Dushney.
Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube, PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. Don't forget to subscribe, flash the subscribe button. Membership's also available. Tastes great on a cracker. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and there's a new noodle on the mound for the EI Braves. It is James Greeley making his at least second appearance of the year across leagues. Again, we don't have a whole lot of stats uploaded for most of the Park League teams on their website, but I can tell you his numbers from last year's run with the Braves for Greeley. Went 2-0 in 4 appearances, 3.82 ERA in 11 innings. Excuse me. Allowed 17 hits, 7 runs, 6 of which are earned. Walked 6 rather, and struck out 10, including a season-high 7 in a win over the Boston A's on July 28th last year. He made 1 appearance against an ICL team last year while with the Braves, and that was against the Andre Chiefs. At least 1 appearance on the mound. He also has some experience as a batter. 5 for 29, 11 games last year. As we get to the bottom of the 5th underway, 1-0 is the count to A.J. Lisco. Little flare to left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Lisco turns at first and holds there with a leadoff base hit. Leadoff base hits were another common thread in the sequences that helped the Blue Sox come back against the Brighton Black Sox. They did not score in any run. They did not score in any inning in which they did not get the leadoff man on. I mean, just generally, that's important for baseball strategy when you're on offense. You put the pitcher into the stretch sooner, throw off his mechanics and allow you to take advantage sooner. Then again, more and more pitchers these days at all levels pitch exclusively from the stretch. Ohtani does it. I remember Carlos Carrasco, I believe, was the first guy I saw who did that regularly as a starter. Yeah, bounced to Cleveland, the Mets, went back to Cleveland. I think he's pretty sure he's retired. 1-1 is the count to Will Norris. And a base hit in the 3rd inning.
About 2 months after I moved in with you, we took our first trip up here to Massachusetts, and in July of 2021, I had my first Blue Sox game.
Yep. A moment forever etched in your memory. For better or for worse, right? I'm pretty sure that was a game where I think the Expos were beating the crap out of us in that game, I think.
It was at a field we've never been to again, from what I remember.
Oh, yeah. That was the one at Austin Prep, right? That was when the then Reading Bulldogs called that, and were kind of nomads, basically. And the Bulldogs actually almost folded before they relocated to Lexington. But after a plunking of Will Norris, we're going to have a pinch hitter. Oh, that's on the outside corner for strike one. Brendan Jones playing just his second game of the year. Last played on June 11th against the Malden Mad Dogs. 0 for 1 with a couple of walks and an RBI and a run. And was hit by a pitch. A 750 OBP, but looking for his first hit. But you'll take getting on base any way you can.
I believe we did 2 Blue Sox games that week, and the Expos were the other one.
Yeah, the Expos, yeah, that was the other one, and that was here, too. First one was at Austin Prep. Similar spot to the first called strike. Brendan not exactly thrilled about the call, but will reset. Full count with runners at first and second. Pop fly into the Bermuda Triangle on the left side. That'll get down. And probably better that Lisco held at third there. Might have had time, but don't want to chance it in this spot.
Attention to the ballpark. We have a pinch hitter. Now batting in the leadoff spot, number 2, Luis Atiles.
So Luis Atiles is going to pinch hit for Jesse McCullough with the bases loaded in front of him and nobody out. Luis playing his third game with the Blue Sox, 1 for 5 with a couple of ribbies in the first 2. Oh, wow, that is a brilliant eye there by Luis. That is a curveball that not only looked like a strike from here, but also looked like one you could hammer. And he'll pop this one up into shallow right. Infield fly is called. And that is out number 1. Sam Finn waiting to make sure that wouldn't travel much further, and it's pop up caught by the second baseman. And here is Dom Gabardi to pinch hit for Jake McElroy. With 1 out and the bases loaded, Dom hoping to come through in a big way. Pick up Luis Atiles after that tough pop-up. Oh, and 1 is the count to Dom. That is up and in, ball 1. Gabardi playing in his 5th game. 2 for 6. It's 2 for 2 against Brighton on Saturday. Fly ball down the line in right, and that is gonna... He caught it! Be caught by the right fielder. Wow.
That was a great catch.
We've seen some fantastic catches all year in that spot in right field, and that time was Max Garner coming in clutch. It does end up as a sac fly, but
we have a pinch hitter. Now batting in the number
More importantly, as far as the Braves are concerned,
David Vanderzowen.
it's 2 down. They only need 1 more out to get out of this relatively unscathed. Here is Mrs. Vanderzowen's baby boy. In there for a strike.
Hi, Mrs. Vanderzowen.
I really do admire the Blue Sox not rolling over, obviously, here. I mean, you're still down a bunch, but they're not giving away at-bats. They're trying to string things together sometimes.
Wow.
No, it was not a catch. It was nearly another diving catch in the outfield, this time by the center fielder Haslam, but that one was trapped, and DVZ has a base hit and an RBI.
The designated hitter. It's Jules, number 25, Julian Alvarez.
I love it.
Alex Haslam nearly with a second consecutive highlight reel catch to neuter the Blue Sox offense, but Vanderzowen gets a reprieve, a single, and an RBI out of it, and now here is Jules swinging at the first pitch and just a little bit late there off the handle of the bat for strike 1. Leave your veteran power hitter in there to see if he can little hop, skip, and a jump there, getting the lead from first, Vanderzowen. But Jules now behind 0-2 after 2 foul balls. Oh, brutal ring ball sweeping down and away, and Jules comes up empty. And the Blue Sox are retired in the bottom of the 5th. They get 2 more runs, but that is little consolation as they are still down 6 going into inning number 6. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in card. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the checkout codes in the link on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. Well, bunch of changes in the Blue Sox defensive alignment after the pinch hitting assignments in the top of the 6th.
Of the 6-4 extra innings, the catcher, number 39, Pat Purcell.
Pat Purcell up for the 4th time and hoping to continue his fine game so far. Retired his first time up, but single run scored and a walk since. Swings at the first one, fouls that off the other way for strike 1.
And now pitching for the Blue Sox, number 13, Luke Deschanel.
So, good job by here's a nice backhand pick at third. Scoop! Got him! Huge play there by David Vanderzowen on to first for the first out of the first out of the inning. Oh, boy, I'm sure the Blue Sox wish it was the first out of the ball game. Reset how this game is played out so far.
For sure.
Number 16, Alex
But Vanderzal with a nice backhand pick at third and the seed over to first for Lisco for the first out of the top of the sixth. Now here is Alex Joyce, who grounded into a double play his last time and takes a strike. 0-1. Luke Deschanel is the new pitcher. Hey, Tuck, how you doing? It's down away. Deschanel making his second appearance of the season, took the loss against the Americans on June 9th, went 2 2/3 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 4, and struck out 1. Little flare to left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit for Alex Joyce.
The third baseman, number 8, Logan Umbach.
Logan Umbach back to work. Single his last time. He's got Joyce at first, and Joyce with his hit back in the third. That was a nuke too, but got caught up trying to make the turn for second. Was fortunate to get back to first safely with the single though. As, of course, during that 9-run third inning, that is the cause of the deficit you see in the bottom right corner of your screen. 10-4 the Braves on top. In which the Braves sent 14 men to the plate, 9 of them scored. And there were a lot of opportunities there for the Blue Sox to get out of that with less damage inflicted, and maybe this game is more easily within reach for the Blue Sox if that's the case. But it's been a recurring theme at times this season where the Blue Sox struggle to finish clean innings and put away guys that they get to 2 strikes. They're down their final 6 offensive outs in this one. They're winning consecutive games for the first time this year and getting off that up and down roller coaster, that yo-yo of the start of the season, which they alternated losses and wins to the first 8. Got a second consecutive win with that comeback against the Brighton Black Sox on Saturday, but now staring down the barrel of another entry in the L column unless they can get a big inning going in one of the last 2. Shovel over to second. Force there, and it'll be 2 down.
Well, maybe they'll have a comeback story like we did after the next part of our story.
Number 24, Ryan O'Byrne.
Which we don't need to talk about that part of our story because it's been documented on this YouTube channel before.
Yeah, on this channel, and actually also on Tucker's channel, and also on the Blue Sox channel as well. That swung I missed for strike 1, but basically, I almost died. We moved back to Mass. We got victimized by a real estate scammer. Now we have a home. Then we got married, and now we're going to be moving soon too. Not very far away though. We'll still be here. Oh, and in between, I had cancer. What did you have? Gallows humor, dear.
After you almost died and we got victimized by a real estate scammer, I basically said, you need to make me your wife. So
I did that.
yeah.
That goes into the left center field gap, out of the left fielder's reach, and that is going to score the runner all the way from first to make it 11-4.
The center fielder, number 10, Alex Haslam.
So O'Byrne with the piece in the left center field. Bottom of the order doing more damage for the EI Braves. Up and away for a ball. Go on.
We got engaged in January 2023, and neither of us really wanted to wait that long. So we had a quick engagement and got married in June.
You made me get down on my bad knee, too.
It's the moment that every person dreams about their whole life, and you don't get to do it over.
I mean, given the condition my leg was in at the time, what if I just, like, face planted on the floor?
Then I guess you would have done it over.
For the Braves in the top of
If
the
you
sixth,
insist, dear.
one
Love you.
run on 2 hits.
Braves get another run on 2 more hits and lead 11-4 after 5 and a half.
Bottom of the 6th inning, the Braves lead
Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot. Whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, coach, or couple celebrating their 2nd anniversary. Email yours truly for all the deets. Thank you for subscribing to Depressing Blue Sox Facts. The 9 runs that the Blue Sox allowed in the top of the 3rd is the most they have allowed in a single inning since 2006. The previous high was by the Expos back in 2023. And there were some seasons over the last 20 that the Blue Sox never allowed 9 runs in a game. And yet, here we are with the Blue Sox down to their final 6 offensive outs, down a full touchdown. But credit to them for keep try their best to chip away, not giving up at bats, but sometimes you were just that outmatched. The 5 errors, by the way, in that third inning, right, Bruce? Yeah, that was also the most errors in an inning by the Blue Sox since 2006, and of course, much like the runs, or some season where we wouldn't commit 5 errors in a single game. But there's a first time for everything, right? Go to a baseball game, you'll see something you've never seen before, no matter the level.
The center fielder, number 18, Charlie Camella.
Charlie Camello took over defensively in center field in the top half of this 6th inning. Will now get his first turn at bat. Greeley back to work for the Braves and misses with the curveball for a ball. Two and 0. Thank you for subscribing to Depressing Blue Sox Facts. Press subscribe on below the stream to subscribe to Exciting Blue Sox Facts, because you have to remember, even in a 28-game ICL season, baseball is a marathon and not a sprint. The pendulum will swing both ways. I mean, it's obviously been a little erratic this year. It hasn't been a pendulum. It's been really a yo-yo, as I said, with alternating losses and wins through the first 8 games. And it's good to finally put, something of a winning streak, mini streak, together after that, especially in the way that they did against Brighton on Saturday. But now they got to clean themselves up, dust themselves off. And again, if there's any consolation out of it, they don't have to play in the deep fryer of a day tomorrow. Those are the standings in the Intercity League entering play tonight. The Bulldogs lost yesterday after their win on Saturday. Allowed the Blue Sox to jump into 4th place, but maybe back even, and as such, behind the Bulldogs after this. As remember, the Bulldogs currently own the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Blue Sox with their win against their roommates beginning of the season. Meanwhile, you can see the Braves as Camella works a walk. The Braves, well, they're not running away with the Park League like the Black Sox have been running away with the Yawkey League. But they've got a pretty good lead. They're a game up on ADSL in the loss column and 3 games better in the win column in TJO. Sam Finn says Charlie Camella is safe. And TJO is the only other team right now in the Park League that is above 500. Padres at 5-7, the Boston A's at 4-8, but one of those wins against the Blue Sox. Palmer at 4-9, and Mass Envelope at 2-10. Oh, and 1 is the count to Pat Casserly. Not at all. Not even close. You weren't there for Sway's walk-off squeeze in the championship series 10 years ago this season, by the way. Hey, Sway, how you doing?
Hi, Sway.
Rotate the mound, as they say. Last year, Casserly slashed just 150, 340, 175. Through 6 games this year, 2 for 10 with 1 RBI and a walk. Strokes this one into left center field. Going back to the wall. That bounces in front of the wall. Camelo's got good speed. He's being waved around third, and he will score.
We like to see the fight.
Be careful what you wish for, dear. What kind of fight?
I don't know. We were just talking about Sway.
Now batting in the number 8 spot, number 19, Luke Ward.
Sway is a fiery leader, absolutely, and he is dearly missed every day. He's still alive, folks. Pray for my ground to the right side, and Luke Ward is behind in the count, 0-1. RBI double for Pat Casserly, which is just his 2nd extra base hit with the Blue Sox. In 2023, his lone double came against the Lexington Bulldogs on June 26 as part of a 2-for-4 effort with 2 runs scored.
This is a good week for him.
Every 2 years, God allows him to hit 1 extra base hit. 1-2 is the count to Luke Ward. Blue Sox showing fight, not allowing the Braves to coast to a win even after the 9 spot, which, as we just let you know, thanks to Bruce's quick thinking, depressing Blue Sox facts, that the 9 runs, the most allowed in an inning by the Blue Sox since 2006. Same with the number of errors in that inning, 5 of them.
Was that June 26th game, the game that they wore the powder blues for us?
Might have. Yeah, well, never again, clearly.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, some uniforms were luckier than others, and we had this, you know, baseball players are the most superstitious creatures on the planet. Curveball on the outside corner for strike 3 called. Ward thought that was outside, shaking his head as he goes back to the dugout.
Attention at the ballpark. We have a pinch hitter. Now batting in the number 9 spot. Number 21, Luke Maltasia.
Well, Luke Maltaseas grabbed Sway's jersey and a bat and come up here with 2 down in the bottom of the 6th and a runner at second for the Blue Sox. Ground to the left side, fielded at short, a little bit of a double clutch, 1 hop. Not in time, but to third goes Casserly. Oh, just a little bit of a delay here because this is Bobby D'Agostino's spot in the order. And oh, yeah.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the catcher, number 51, Bobby D'Agostino.
Flashbacks to Bobby's mom coming up to me before the Kettleers game to thank me for the kind words I've said about him, but might need to have a little talk here after this one. And
Mistakes happen.
yeah. 1-0 is the count to Bobby Dags. You know, we would have this thing where, you know, when we had all these uniforms to pick from as a team, that's fouled off 1-1. Sometimes we would wear the same uniform. Generally, the pitcher would pick the uniform, but sometimes we'd wear the same uniform, you know, in consecutive games, you know, for good luck. And then when that luck wore out, we switched to another one, wore that one until it's correlation definitely does mean causation if you're a baseball player.
Hello to Bobby's mom if she's watching.
1-2 is a count to Bobby Dags with runners at the corners and 2 down.
Hello to anyone's mom who's watching. Moms are great, even though I'm only the mom of a dog.
Down away for a ball, and that is 2-2. I don't know. If you ask Tina, we're the worst parents ever. No treats ever. 2-2 with 2 on and 2 out. And look who showed up in the chat. He went around the swing, says Mike Finn, and that is out. Strike number 3 and out number 3 here in the bottom of the 6th. 11-5 Braves going to the 7th. When I say LSP is something for everyone since 2011, I by God mean it. Sports, live events, petsing, walking, tech, help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page or visit Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need.
Attention around the ballpark, we have a substitution to announce for the Blue Sox. Now pitching for Lexington, the right-hander, number 38, Grant Struther.
That was right at me that time.
As we go to the top of the 7th, a couple more changes for the Blue Sox, including a new noodle in Grant Struther. Struther, S-T-R-O-T-H-E-R, if you're playing the home game, pronounced like brother, is making his 3rd appearance of the season, an inning apiece against the Mad Dogs on May 30th, and the Black Sox on Saturday, and has gone 2 innings, allowing 3 hits with 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout and 2 wild pitches in his first 2 outings, and looking for a clean inning here in the top of the 7th of a game that the EI Braves have owned since a historic top of the 3rd, and historic in a bad way as far as the Blue Sox are concerned. It's upstairs for ball 1. Last week in an interleague game, the Blue Sox hit 4 home runs, and which was one of the highest single game totals in that regard for them, and the first time they'd ever had multiple inside the park home runs in a single game, as that is caught by Luke Maltasia.
Nice catch.
In left field, backpedaling and to his left for out number 1.
Now batting for the Braves, the shortstop, number 20, Jimmy Mitchell.
So Max Garner is retired. I mean, oh, and 1 is the count to Jimmy Mitchell. Maltasia with a nice catch in left field. And, again, that game last week against Al Thompson was the first time the Blue Sox had multiple inside the park home runs. But interleague play continues for the Blue Sox on Thursday and Friday this week. They'll visit ADSL at Townfield in Dorchester on Thursday, and then they'll host Palmer back here at LHS on Friday with an 8 o'clock first pitch. And they're back in Boston for 2 more games against Park League clubs on Monday the 30th and Wednesday, July 2nd, before the 4th of July break. And they'll visit the Padres at Cleveland Circle and Mass Envelope at Fallon Field in Roslindale. And then they'll be hosting the Brighton Braves of the Yawkey League on Wednesday, July 9th, to resume play after the 4th of July break, continuing interleague play through the other side of the 4th of July break, and then complete it with a game against TJO, also at Fallon Field in Roslindale on Thursday the 10th. And then it's interleague play, intercity league play, the rest of the way, starting Sunday, July 13th, at 8 o'clock, when the Blue Sox visit the Middlesex Expos at Furlow Field in Woburn. Just outside, and it'll be a full count. Popped up into right, caught for out number 2.
Now batting for the Braves, the second baseman, number 44, Nick Pappas.
Here's Nick Pappas. The Braves 3 defensive outs away from another win. Or have 1 win against ICL competition. Looking to make it 2 for 2 and increase their stranglehold on the Boston Park League standings. You can see there. A win would put them what, 2.5 games up on
He did not
ADSL.
get that ball.
Grounder into the hole on the left side at short, and tough task there for the left side of the Blue Sox infield. The inning continues for Pike.
The left fielder, number 13, Sebastian Pike.
Good job by Brennan Doyle, a new catcher, to find that one and prevent the advance by the runner. Although at this point, if you're trying to run on a pitch like that, why? 2-0. Dribble a little further away, but Doyle tracking it down, and you can use a time like this if you're Doyle to make sure you're tracking those balls well enough now in case you're in a higher stakes position later in the season. ICL teams in interleague play tonight are all facing the Park League, and that drops into left center field for another 2-out hit. The Boston A's are visiting the Melrose Americans. That game got underway at 7:30 at Morelli. Look, wait, they're still waiting on a final on that one. And TJO is visiting the Andre Chiefs over in Maplewood. I do wonder how possible it would be for any of tomorrow's games to be postponed. Because, again, they're all like 7:45 or 8 o'clock first pitches. But you have Stoneham at TJO, ADSL at Middlesex, McKay at Malden, and Andre at East Boston. And this is an especially tough stretch in the schedule for the Andre Chiefs because they lost in walk-off fashion on a wild pitch to the Melrose Americans on Saturday. After the Blue Sox nearly one-on-one in the game prior. And that was just a couple days after they had lost the Brighton Black Sox 1-0. Now they've got TJO tonight. They're at East Boston Stadium to take on the Knights tomorrow. Underhand to second to get the man in the middle, and that'll end the inning. And then they host the Boston Padres Wednesday at 8 o'clock at Maplewood. Standings-wise, record-wise, it's not exactly facing world beaters there if you're the Chiefs, but you need to put wins together, and you can't underestimate your opposition. I'm sure the Blue Sox have learned that one in convincing fashion over the last few years with, Blue Sox just running through the ICL year after year, but the gap has closed considerably to the point where there really isn't a gap. The Andre Chiefs have won the last 2 championships. The Blue Sox actually in the midst of what is tied for their longest stretch without a championship, 3 consecutive seasons. But to quote LP in Legend Has It by Run the Jewels, hunting's no fun when your prey doesn't move and you have to relish the competition. I hope that was just for the breeze and not the invoking RTJ and talking about baseball, dear.
I love the breeze.
Fair enough. Anyways, we go to the bottom of the 7th. Already did that one. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD copy or a digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with our dog, Tina the Long Renite, stuff that Katrina designed, in fact, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Email yours truly for game videos or go to Creator Spring for merch.
For the Blue Sox, the shortstop, number 2, Luis Atiles.
Luis Atiles will lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th. Blue Sox, a tall task. They're going to prolong this game. Didn't get a chance to tell you more about James Greeley's career here in the Boston Amateur Baseball circuit. So this year and last year, in addition to playing for the EI Braves of the Park League. He's also playing for the Brighton Braves of the Yawkey League. He's also played for Cannon Club in the Park League, Metro West Royals. It's been mostly the Braves. Also a stint with the South Shore Spartans of the MSBL. 1-1 is the count to Atilis. As a hitter, he's a career 223. Has a 223 career average, but as a pitcher, solid career in 133 games since 2007, a 3.47 ERA, a record of 32, 27, and 1 with 4 saves. In 415 innings, has struck out 310 batters. That bounces to the plate, and it is 1-0 to Gabarty. Greeley had a career-high 5 wins for the Brighton Braves of the Yawkey League in 2013. Career best for ERA was in 2010, at least among qualified pitchers. I got in the wrong direction. 163 for the Brighton Braves in 2009. But that was his record. There was 2-4 that year. So the whole Felix Hernandez, Jacob deGrom, Zach Greinke thing applies there, I guess. Pitcher wins are overrated. 2-2 is the count, and Gabarty watches that one go to the backstop. Well, we may not have a game to cover tomorrow night, but what are we going to do to celebrate the anniversary of our wedding ceremony, dear?
Pizza and chocolate cake.
Yep, just like we had for dinner with all our friends and family 2 years ago. Very good. 3-2. High for a ball. 1-out walk for Dom.
And not leaving the house because it'll be far too hot.
You have work, though, don't you?
Yeah, but after that.
Definitely some stuff I can catch up on around the house. Some dishes and such. We'll finally have a dishwasher at our new place, too. Something that has eluded us in an apartment throughout our relationship.
Technically, we have one right now, but it's not functional.
It's not functional, and it would violate our lease to get a functional one. 1-1. Vanderzouen up to bat for the second time.
I still have zero clue how to run a dishwasher.
And that gets past the first baseman down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Holding at third is Gabarty. They're at the corners. We're going to have a pinch hitter here. It's going to be Brian Acosta.
Attention around the ballpark, we have a pinch hitter. Now batting in the number 4 spot, number 31, Brian Acosta.
Acosta might be as surprised as anyone. He's still getting his batting gloves on.
I think Jules kind of looked around and he was like, wait, why am I still...
At this point, why not?
Yep. I'll see what he can do. Runner goes. Acosta skies this one into left center field. It's going to stay in the park. It's caught, and this is going to end the ball game. Wow.
Tonight's final score, the extra innings Braves.
Vanderzouen kept running from first. Did not see the ball was caught until he heard the Braves dugout yelling 1-1-1 to get the ball back to first, but there was no chance he was going to get back there safely unless the ball was thrown out of play, and that puts an end to a brutal one for the Blue Sox. 11-5 is the final And, I mean, credit to the Blue Sox for showing fight, not just rolling over every at-bat after that 9th spot in the top of the 3rd. But I think this should send a message to the rest of the Park League from the Braves more than anything else. I mean, you already
They are very good at baseball.
They are. I mean, the last time I had done the Park League Championship Series, they had come back against the Boston A's to come away with the win, an exciting 7-game series, and now they have the dub, and they extend their lead over ADSL in the Park League standings now at 12-2, while the Blue Sox fall to 5-5, back into a tie now with the roommates, the Lexington Bulldogs. Well, I think Blue Sox have won back-to-back games for the first time, but aren't able to get a 3-game winning streak together. But again, they get to escape playing in the heat wave tomorrow, and then possible bad weather on Wednesday, cooling off. But we'll see if they can get back in the W column on Thursday. They will be back at LHS here on Friday. So, with that said, this has been a presentation of LSP and the Lexington Blue Sox. Something for everyone for over a decade. Copyright 2025. Unauthorized redistribution of any portion of this broadcast without the express written permission of LSP and the Lexington Blue Sox is strictly prohibited. If you want to support future content here on LSP, then you can buy shipping shields at the link and using the codes on the screen and in the description. Sponsor future content for as little as $25 a spot. Hire us to work your next live event or whatever else we can do for you on any given day. Buy some of this fabulous merchandise, including some stuff that Katrina designed at Creator Spring or by emailing yours truly for game videos. And, of course, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flash the subscribe button. PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. And, of course, follow and support the Blue Sox and the Intercity League all season long. Intercity League Baseball on Facebook and intercityleaguebaseball.com. Once again, the final score from center field at Lexington High School in Lexington, Mass. It is the EI Braves 11 and the Lexington Blue Sox 5. For the wife, Katrina Good, and all my rowdy friends here at LHS, my name is Sam Feeler, reminding you forever and always, freelance isn't free. Thanks for tuning in. Fresh for 2025. Suckas. Love you, Katrina.